just like Sinatra. Get on a stage, one take, and it's done. Welcome to Bear Clooney Watches channel. I'm Bear Clooney, Bear who continuously searches for perfect timepiece, continues to invite all of you, my friends, to join me in that search. Yet, we probably will never find perfect timepiece. Bear who appreciates our hobby. Bear who loves and appreciates every single one of you, my viewers, my friends. This is my cave, Bear Clooney's cave, and I have 3 calls from my cave today. Call number 1, please subscribe to my channel, support me. Call number 2, wristwatch check. On my wrist today is Rolex Datejust 41 in oyster steel, on oyster bracelet, smooth bezel, slate Wimbledon dial. This watch is the topic of today's video. Call number 3. Let me just give you a little explanation regarding the intro to this video today. You see, I always try to make my intros, let's call it subliminal messages. I try to make them very personal. I try to combine the music and visual to tell a little pre-story regarding the topic, the subject, the watch that I'm discussing in my video. And today, we have 2 iconic brands, Wimbledon and Rolex. And they go together so well. And they have been together historically from beginning. They're so similar in their qualities, in their prestige. And they truly complement each other. I think it's almost a natural coexistence. And I see their cooperation as something very natural and organic. Now, having a Rolex Wimbledon on a wrist, I consider that a little more than just a horological experience. There is a certain sport history behind it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, Bear, how come in your intro it ends with Novak Djokovic, when we know that Roger Federer at this moment is greatest of all times, that he is Rolex ambassador and often portrayed as a main player of Wimbledon tournament? Well, I tend to see things differently. Well, first and foremost, let's be transparent. I'm Serbian, and Novak Djokovic is a pride of Serbians all around the world. So naturally, my heart goes to him. I see Nole as intricate and important component of Wimbledon. And at the end, you see his last win in Wimbledon 2019 when he defeated Roger Federer in a final. Nole is extremely important and special to us Serbs. As a small nation, we take exceptional pride in any success that any of us achieves. And Nole has been one of the greatest sportists in our history and certainly great Serbian ambassador. So forgive me for being biased, but I felt that to me, tennis, Wimbledon, without Nole is just not enough. Now going back to the watch and the topic of the day. You see, when I look at the Rolex catalog and when I look at the watches that modern Rolex offers on the market, I tend to always lean toward what they call their professional line. You know, their sports watches, popularly known among us watch enthusiasts. This professional line includes everything from Explorer, Explorer 2, Milgauss, Subs, Yachtmasters. And you know what? Those are the watches that appeal to me, not just by their market status, but I think aesthetically, and also they suit my lifestyle, my dress style, the way I am, much better. Now, I do appreciate and I do like classic Rolex watches, such as Day-Date or Datejust, right? But they're not necessarily exactly to my taste and my lifestyle. However, I found this as an anomaly, and it always excites me when I see something that can be perceived in a unique way. Rolex Datejust is a classic Rolex, yet this configuration manages to be very sporty, truly sporty, and I love wearing it. It feels truly nice on my wrist. It suits my taste, it suits my style, and it does have the aesthetics that I am attracted to. So I thought it would be interesting to share this configuration. And you know, I know that most of the people, when they saw me posting this on my Instagram, were commenting, well, why would you take it with a smooth bezel? Isn't that lower level Datejust? Well, I have a Datejust, and I appreciate Datejust, and I understand what they're saying. But this Datejust speaks in a different language, and it's a sport watch language. And I think this configuration allows this watch to be more sporty. So I thought it was interesting that classic Rolex can translate into more sporty approach, just as we see that some of the sports Rolex watches, let's say Explorer, are often utilized in more dressy way. That's just an interesting approach to today's watch and today's video. So I suggest we go to Bear Clooney's watch studio and take a closer look at this awesome watch. And here we are at the Bear Clooney's watch studio, and we're going to take a closer look at this Rolex Datejust 41 in this specific configuration. But before I start, I just want to share with you, actually, I found a really cool bracelet. It's David Yurman. It has this steampunk feel. It's really cool. And what really got me on it, I don't know if you can actually see it, but these little black diamonds. It's very macho. It's so cool. I like this bracelet. It fits right. It's very comfortable. It's not tacky. And I like wearing it specifically with this watch. I don't know, the aesthetics are complementary, but I never, ever, ever wear a bracelet on the same wrist with a watch. That's something I don't do. Going back to this watch now, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's take a look. Let's start with this sunburst dial. I think it's beautiful. The Sleigh dial is very universal, easy to wear, and it's just attractive in its sunburst appearance. And then we have these green Roman numerals, which give a certain class to this watch, and they're quite attractive. They even have somehow a 3D feel looking at them. They pop out of the dial. I think it's a beautiful dial. It is classic, no question about it, but it doesn't oppose the sporty feel I'm trying to achieve with this watch. And I think that primarily that's achieved through this bracelet, which is oyster bracelet. As you can see, it is the center polished links. They give it a more dressy feel, and ultimately this is from the classic dress style watches. I might prefer this to be fully brushed, but hey, it is the Datejust after all. It has the comfort extension 5mm on the clasp. Here we go. Again, I would probably prefer sub clasp on this, but hey, again, this is a Datejust. And I think this configuration with smooth bezel and this oyster bracelet achieves that sporty, casual, professional watch look. What do you think? I know that fluted bezel is extremely important to Datejust line. Aesthetically and historically, this is the bezel that actually had a practical purpose of tightening the case and ensuring further it's waterproof. But I think that I managed to achieve with this configuration what I was going after, and that is more sporty look of this watch. One interesting thing about this dial, slate dial, sunburst dial, it's not the easiest dial to do pictures, videos, photography all together. And it tends to look so much nicer in person than it does on the videos and photography. But I'll try my best to bring it to you in the best possible quality of the video that I can. So here is the watch in its glory. I think it captures it nicely. And let's see it on the wrist. I'm just gonna close this. And now we're gonna put it on my wrist. My wrist is 7.25 inches. This watch is the movement 3235, which is 70 hours power reserve, which is absolutely awesome. The watch is 41 millimeters, but it wears kind of, to be honest with you, with smooth bezel actually wears a little smaller. I gotta be honest. And it wears smaller than I would say the Rolex Sub 41. It's a watch that can be worn on a small wrist. I know that many people get intimidated by the name Datejust 41, and they tend to be people who are appreciating size of 38, 39 millimeter dress watches. If you wear 38, 39 millimeter dress watches, you'll be absolutely fine with Datejust 41. I can assure you of that. But this is how the watch looks on my wrist. So there you go. This wonderful Datejust 41 is a configuration that I think is very sporty, very, very cool. I'm hoping that with this watch on my wrist this year, I'll be celebrating Novak Djokovic championship in Wimbledon 2021. And I'm hoping that with this watch on my wrist, I will see Djokovic achieve 20 or more Grand Slams before 2022. And here we go. That's it. I don't think I'm going to bother with the... You know what's often I heard as a complaint on this watch? This 9 p.m. line, but I think it's so interesting how they did that, and it's actually a presentation of the tennis net, and I love that. I think this watch is gorgeous. I really do. I'm glad I added this to my collection, and this watch speaks to me, and I'm enjoying it exactly as is. So I hope this helps you get a better idea of the Wimbledon dial Datejust. Of course, they come in different variations on Jubilee, with fluted bezel, the two-tone. They're all quite beautiful, and I am sure that each one of you will be able to find configuration that is most suitable to your taste. So there you go. That's my sporty Datejust 41. Let's go back to Bear's Cave. And we're back at Bear Clooney's cave. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Not only because this watch is undoubtedly beautiful, but because it's a bit of an anomaly. I like those things that go out of the norm. You see, in today's world, where demand for classic dress watches is diminishing every day, we are usually facing suggestions where professional sports watch can play the role of a dress watch. But I thought it was interesting to go opposite way, to have a classic so-called dress watch play the role of the sport timepiece. And I think this watch does it so well, primarily because of its configuration, dial, and association with the sport. But that also opens another interesting subject, and that is that when it comes to Rolex, the Datejust gives us opportunity to experiment with bracelets, with dials, with choice of the bezel, much more than any other lineup from Rolex watches. Variety that Datejust offers is just simply more rich. It offers our personal expression to come through much better, based on the fact that there are different configurations, different dials, different bracelets that we can use. And I think it's a watch that allows our aesthetic expressions to come through better. So another interesting thing about Datejust as a very iconic and classic watch coming from Rolex. That's it for today. I really appreciate your support. Once again, please click like, subscribe, and make the comment in this video. I try to answer to everyone. All the best to all of you from Bear Clooney.